A federal court has halted the Trump administration's plan to deploy 200 National Guard members to Portland, Oregon. On October 4, 2025, Judge Karen Immergut, a Trump appointee, issued a temporary restraining order after Oregon and Portland sued, calling the move an unconstitutional overreach. The order blocks the deployment for 14 days, denying the federal government's request to pause the ruling. This marks a major legal victory for Oregon and a setback for the administration's approach to domestic unrest. At the heart of the case, who controls the National Guard within state borders, the governor or the president? Judge Immergut's decision sides with state autonomy, highlighting the limits of executive power. Civil liberties advocates, including the ACLU of Oregon, praise the ruling as a crucial check on federal authority. The court's intervention has forced a national conversation about the military's role in domestic affairs. The implications reach far beyond Oregon, challenging the balance of power in our federal system. The legal battle began after months of protests in Portland, some targeting a federal ICE facility. In June 2025, President Trump authorized the federalization of National Guard troops, citing threats to federal property. On September 27, he publicly ordered the deployment to war-ravaged Portland, authorizing full force if necessary. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth quickly federalized 200 Oregon Guard members, removing them from the governor's control. Oregon's leaders strongly objected, calling the move unnecessary and provocative. By fall, protests had largely subsided and were mostly peaceful, according to state officials. Governor Tina Kotek insisted there was no emergency justifying federal intervention. Local law enforcement, she argued, was fully capable of maintaining order. The federal deployment was seen as an escalation, not a solution. Oregon and Portland filed a federal lawsuit to block the deployment, arguing it violated the Constitution and state sovereignty. They claimed the president lacked legal grounds to federalize the Guard, as no invasion or insurrection existed. The state's lawyers emphasized the 10th Amendment, reserving powers to the states. Governor Kotek's refusal to consent made the federal action a direct challenge to her authority. The lawsuit warned that federalized troops could escalate tensions and undermine public safety. Oregon argued it faced a genuine constitutional injury threatening American federalism. The court was asked to protect the state from what it saw as illegitimate executive overreach. Judge Immergut ruled that President Trump's order likely exceeded his legal authority. She found no evidence of insurrection or inability of local law enforcement to maintain order. The administration's claims of a war-ravaged city didn't match the facts. The judge concluded the legal basis for federal intervention was not met. She also found the order likely violated the 10th Amendment, infringing on Oregon's right to control its Guard. Her decision was a strong defense of federalism and state sovereignty. Judge Immergut wrote, "This is a nation of constitutional law, not martial law." The ruling reaffirmed that executive power must remain bound by the rule of law. The court's decision is a powerful check on presidential authority over domestic military use. It sets a precedent that the executive cannot deploy troops against a state's wishes without clear legal justification. The case could inspire other states to challenge similar federal actions. Supporters of states' rights see the ruling as a vital affirmation of the 10th Amendment. The decision reinforces that the National Guard is primarily a state resource, not a tool for federal intervention. The case tests the boundaries of federal and state power in American democracy. Its outcome may define the relationship between the White House and the states for years to come. The Portland case is about more than protests. It's about the limits of power in a democratic republic.